We are back at shul.com, the Surfside Kolel Boker, and we are continuing in the learning of the Halakha. This is in Kitzur, Shulchan Aruch, Kitzur, Yalkut, Yosef. We are reading now Hilchot Hanukkah. Siman Tav Resh Ayin. Devarim ha'asurim v'hamuterim b'Hanukkah. What are the things that are permitted and not permitted on Hanukkah? Bitkufat habayit hasheni, in the second temple, Gazru Malchei Yavan Gezrot al Israel. The Greeks, the Hellenists, made a lot of different negative and bad decrees on Israel. Bitlu otam midatam. They were trying to remove them from their religion. Velo hinichum la'asok b'Torah mitzvot. They didn't let them to learn Torah and do mitzvot. V'lachatzom lachatz gadol. Upashtu yedhem b'mamonam u'b'benotehem. They went after their money and after their daughters. V'nichnesu lahechal parsu bo peratzot. They went to the Beit HaMikdash and they made holes and timu et taharot. They defiled the pure items in the Beit HaMikdash. It was very difficult for Israel during that time. Until God had mercy on us and saved us. And he says here that the Hashmonaim, the Kohanim Gedolim, got up and they killed the Hellenists, and they saved Am Israel. And they made from the Kohanim a Melech, which was a problem. B'Hazra Malchut Israel. Then Malchut came back to Israel, even though it went to the Kohanim, instead of staying in Malchut Bet David Numshecha Yoter Mi200 Shana Ad Chorban Habayit Sheni. And for 200 more years, the Jewish people held the second Beit HaMikdash until the Romans came and destroyed it. B'Cheshabru Israel Al Oivehem Be'ibedum Haya Ze Beyom Kaf Halet B'Kislev. It was the 25th of Kislev. They went into the Hechal, they didn't see any pure oil in order to light the menorah. Ela pach echad shel shemen, just one little bottle, little vessel of shemen. There was only enough to light for one day. But the miracle happened that they ended up lighting for 8 days until they ended up getting olives and making new oil again. It took a few days to go get the oil, a few days to make the oil, to go and come back. They needed time, they needed about a week, so they had 1 day of oil, and because of the extra 7 days, they were sufficient to continuing lighting the menorah. So from that generation onwards, these 8 days from the 25th of Kislev and onward, day of happiness and singing Hallel with the beracha. And you light candles on all nights, in order to let the miracle be known. And those are the days that are called Hanukkah. That's Aleph. Bet. Nohagot hanashim shelo asot melacha. Ladies don't do any type of work. Egon tefira, sriga, sewing, crochet. Be'od shenerot Hanukkah shabayit dilkot, while the candles are lit. B'meshech chatzi sha'a mehadlakatam. From 30 minutes from the time that you light the behatam, hu mishum heked de'odeh she'asu l'shtamesh le'or nerot Hanukkah. And one of them is in order so that we don't use the lights of Hanukkah. Ve'en hakil lahim. And don't be mekil to women to say, okay, it's all right to go do the work now for the half an hour, just wait it out. But if it comes to cooking and baking and food, that is okay. Gimel. There are some ladies that don't do any work on Hanukkah. There's some ladies that don't do any melacha the whole year. So it says the ones who don't do any melacha at all on Hanukkah, you should call them out. They shouldn't do that. Because that batala will become the boredom, and boredom causes sin. He says, don't let the women do any difficult, laborious tasks. Types of washing, sewing, that has a lot of extra effort and work. I guess this is probably in regards to washing manually. Maybe if you have a housekeeper or sending to the cleaners, it's different. at least specifically on the first and last day. But men, they could do all the melacha that they need to. Dalet. נכון ללמוד הלכות חנוכה בחנוכה כדי לדעת פרטי ההלכות. Okay? Learn the halachot on Hanukkah so you know the halachot. כיוון שחז"ל קבעו שמונת ימי חנוכה לשמחה והלל, לכן אין להספיד בהם על מת אלא לחכם בפניו. You don't have הספדים on Hanukkah unless it's a chacham in front of him. Okay. וגם בזמן הזה יש דין תלמיד חכם לפי ערך הדור. Okay. מלמד שתינוקות של בית רבן וקובע עיתים לתורה. You should teach children Torah and have a set time to learn Hanukkah. דינו כתלמיד חכם שמותר להספידו בפניו, דהיינו בעת הלוויה. So he says here, actually, מלמד תינוקות של בית רבן וקובע עיתים לתורה, דינו כתלמיד חכם שמותר להספידו בפניו. If a person who passed away was someone that taught children or קובע עיתים, then you must beat him in his face during the levaya. אסור להתענות בחנוכה. You can't fast on Hanukkah. ולכן אם חל יום פטירת אביו או אמו בחנוכה, if his father or mother passed away in that day, לא יתענן בימי חנוכה, don't fast on Hanukkah, אלא יקדים להתענות קודם חנוכה. Fast before the holiday, שבימים שלפני חנוכה או לאחריהם אין איסור תענית. You could fast before or after. ח' מי שהתענה תענית חלום בחנוכה. A person who had a bad dream and he wanted to have a fast because that dream hurt him, mentally, or he had a bad feeling from the dream. צריך להתענות יום אחר לאחר ימי חנוכה. You do it after Hanukkah. לכפר על מה שהתענה בחנוכה, כמו שכתב מרן בשולחן ערוך. So he says the person who went out of his way to fast on Hanukkah because of a bad dream, because he fasted on a day of Simcha, he has to fast another day after the holiday. Because he took a day of a holiday and he fasted, he has to do it again. Interesting. Tet. מה שנוהגים במלות שבעת ימי האבל לעלות לבית הקברות, that during the 7 days they go to the cemetery. לכן ביום השלושים, and also on the 30th, כמו שכתב בשולחן ערוך, יורה דעה שין דלת מם, אין לעשות כן בימי חנוכה. Don't go to the cemetery during the 7 days or the 30th day. בכל שכן בראש חודש. Definitely not on Rosh Chodesh, which always falls out on Hanukkah. There will always be a Rosh Chodesh. שהרי מתעוררים לבכי ולמספד על ידי הקבר. Because when a person is going to go to the cemetery, he's going to end up crying or having those types of feelings. כשרואים קברו של נפטר ביום השביעי או השלושים. ולכן ידחו הביקור לבית הקברות לאחר ימי חנוכה. So go afterwards to the cemetery. י' יש אומרים שמותר לבקר אצל קברי צדיקים. התנאים והאמוראים, you can go to the קבר of צדיקים בימי חנוכה בכל המועד. That's brought down in the Ben Ish Chai that you could go to קברי צדיקים. ויש חולקים. The מועד חי argues on that. So המקל בזה יש לו על מה לסמוך. Someone who wants to go, he has what to rely on. שהרי אין רגילות לבכות שם כמו שבוכים ליד קבר ביום השבעה או השלושים. Because a person is not going to get to the level of crying like going next to a kever during the 7th or 30th day. Interesting thing to note, the Ben Ish Chai says he could go during Hanukkah and Chol HaMoed, but I believe the Mikubalim don't recommend it on Rosh Chodesh because Rosh Chodesh is a day I think that part of the souls go up. We'll look into that in the future. Yud Aleph, Yishnagu Sha'avilim Al Av Ve'em, someone who's mourning a father or mother, Inam Amrim Kaddish B'Hanukkah, they don't say Kaddish on Hanukkah. V'hu Minhag Garua, that's a wrong and a wrong custom. Explain it to the people. But don't make it into a mahloket if a person doesn't want to accept it. Okay. Yudbet, Misha Niftar lo met b'yemei Hanukkah, someone who had someone pass away in Hanukkah, noheg b'yamim elu kol dene avelut, there's regular avelut, v'korim al ha-keruvim, and they do the keri'ah, v'achen b'bakerim u'menachamim et ha'evel b'Hanukkah, you can visit someone who's sitting shiv'ah, v're'el halan din ha'onen, and then there's other laws of the onen, that's a person who had someone close to him pass away, and the person has not yet been buried. Yud Gimel, Imchal Yom HaShiloshim BaHanukkah. If the 30th day fell out on Hanukkah, Mutar Lasot Seudah B'Limud, you could do the meal and learning. Kishomrim Shem Divrei Torah Musa Leilu Nishmat HaManoach. because you're doing it for Elul Nishmat of the Manoach. But don't do types of hespedim that will cause people to cry. If you want to do limud Torah, musar, in order to elevate the soul. People like to eat dairy foods because of the miracle that happened from the lady Yehudit. And this minhag is Torah. Okay? He writes over here on the bottom, Yalkut Yosef Moadim Amud Kuf Sadi Aleph, Katav Haram Nashim Hayavot Benet Hanukkah She'afhem Hayu Be'ato Ones. So the Ran brings down that the ladies were part of the miracle because of She'avinim Gazru Al Kol Betulot Yisrael HaNeseot She'yiblu Lehegmon Techila. So what happened was, one of the gezerot of the Yevanim is that anytime a virgin girl would want to be married, they had to go first to the Hegmon in order for him to sleep with her. And because of a woman came a miracle. The daughter of Yohanan Gadol, Haita Yefat Mar'eh Uv'ad Hagmon. They brought her to the Hegmon. ובחמדת ימים, הלכות חנוכה פרק ב' כתב שראש האויבים היה אליפורנו מלך יוון. So Aliforno, the king of Yavan, was of Greece. ביחס הנס ליהודית. כמו שכתב התוספות פסחים ק"ח עמוד ב' ובתוספות מגילת ד' עמוד א', והאכילה אותו מאכלי גבינה. She fed him, Yehudit, different types of milk products, כדי שיצמא מאוד, so he can get thirsty. I'm assuming this was some type of raw milk or raw cheese that's a salty cheese, a natural cheese that really causes that, because I don't know if today if a person has cheese that he gets this, so it must have been that it was a certain type of cheese. And then she gave him lots of wine till he got drunk, and he fell asleep. She chopped off his head with a sword. When they saw the entire battalion saw that their king had died, they ran away. So therefore, in order to remember that miracle, we have dairy foods. And so it is brought down from the Chachamim. So if you are a guy who likes dairy, go for it. If you're lactose intolerant, probably don't. Okay, Tetvav. Nohagim lechol b'Hanukkah Sufganiyot mituganot b'shemen. They love eating donuts. That's a big minhag. Zecher l'nesh hashemen shel hamenorah. Because of the oil of the menorah, so suddenly we celebrate oil. So we start frying donuts. But it's like any other battle. We win the battle, we eat. We and that's the common thing. Okay, and anytime you eat these sufganiyot, eat it l'shem shamayim. It's brought down by the father of Harambam, Rabbi Maimon. Don't belittle these minhagim. The person have meals and be happy. It's an old custom to have fried foods with oil. So enjoy it. Obviously, you can use healthy oils like olive oil or maybe coconut oil or avocado oil. As we know today, seed oils are unhealthy, so trying to avoid seed oils would be a good idea. Tet Zayin, יש אומרים שריבוי הסעודות שמרבים בהם בימי חנוכה אינם אלא סעודת הרשות, שלא כבום חכמים למשתה ולשמחה. So when you have those meals, those are not סעודת מצווה, they're סעודת הרשות. מהר"ם מרוטנברג בתשובה סימן תו רש ה' טור בשולחן ערוך סימן תו רש עין. ומה שלא קבעום למשתה ולשמחה כבפורים. On Purim is actually a mitzvah for the Sudah. לפי שבפורים עיקר הגזרה הייתה על אבדן הגופות. Because on the holiday of Purim, Haman was trying to actually destroy the physical body. ולכן תקנו שיהיו ימי משתה ושמחה on Purim. אבל בחנוכה, on Hanukkah הגזרה הייתה על שמירת המצוות וזו אבדן הנפש. The Greeks and the king of Greece didn't want to actually kill the Jewish people. He preferred them to survive. He just didn't want them to be observant in any way of any kind. So they ended up doing the mitzvah with with nerot, because it says ner Hashem, the candle of God is the soul of man. Even though it says it's worse that someone who's going to be mahati, a person not to do mitzvot, than actually killing him. Okay. Some say that it is a mitzvah. כן משמע מלשון הרמב"ם, הלכות חנוכה, פרק ג' הלכה ג', שקבעום דימי שמחה והלל. And then it's also brought down in תוספות and תענית י"ח עמוד ב'. וכך כתב רבן יונה, and also he brings here the בן גאת והכל בו ועוד, וכך כתב המהרש"ל, and it's בבא קמא, ונוהגים לומר זמירות ותשבחות להשם יתברך בסעודת הללו. ואז נחשבות לסעודת מצווה. And then when you're having these meals, you give tishbachot and praise to God. So these seudot on Hanukkah end up having a level of a seudah mitzvah. כמובן בתשבת המהר"ם או במרדכי, also brought down in the Ramah, בהגה, and the Maharshal also. Again, ומה טוב ומה נעים לנצל מסביבות אלו לדרשות בדברי תורה ויראת השם טהורה, לקרב את ישראל לאביהם שבשמיים. But if you can have these meals to get closer to God, ומצדיקי הרבים כוכבים לעולם ועד, and these people that are doing it for צורכי רבים, they are like stars that will be around forever. ואז בוודאי שזאת הלאה נחשבות לסעודת מצווה, as brought down ים שלמה, תחוות יאיר, דגום מלבבה, והיא רצון שהשם יתברך יעשה עמנו ניסים ונפלאות, כמו שעשה לאבותינו בימים ההם בזמן הזה, ישראל נושע בהשם תשועת עולמים, ונזכה לביאת משיח צדקנו, that we're going to have a zechut of seeing the Mashiach in our time, that is Mashiach, is ראשי תיבות מדליקים שמונת ימי חנוכה, ראשי תיבות Mashiach, ונדליק המנורה בבית קודשנו בתפארתנו, that we will do it in the בית המקדש, מלך ביופיו תחזינה עינינו במהרה בימינו אמן. And we're reading this now right after the biggest catastrophe that Am Yisrael has had since World War II. And reading this today is very comforting. It's Inyanye de Yoma, that we are now in the days of Yemot HaMashiach, with, as we spoke earlier, this could be, according to the Mishnah Berurah, the beginning of Milchemet Gog uMagog. Baruch Adonai Le'olam, Amen v'Amen.